Somewhere on the internet, someone is promising that artificial intelligence can make anyone rich. A machine that writes, a machine that codes, a machine that designs logos, builds websites, summarizes books, creates ads, answers customers, researches markets, and works through the night. At first glance, it looks like a money printer, but there is a problem with every money printer. This is HiTechnomy. Look beneath the surface of the future, powered by Alligence Labs. If everyone can use it, the money changes value. The real question is not whether AI can produce more. It can. The question is whether that production gives anyone an advantage once everyone else has access to the same machine. Because wealth does not come from abundance alone. It comes from leverage, scarcity, ownership, trust, timing, judgment. AI may make some people richer. It may make some skills less valuable. And for many workers and businesses, it may quietly raise the speed limit of the economy without raising the reward. So beneath the hype, a more precise question appears. If AI makes intelligence cheaper, what remains valuable? That is the question behind the biggest wealth shift since the internet. Not prediction, not trading, not passive income myths, but through a practical framework for understanding where value is moving. The largest fortunes in history rarely appeared because someone discovered a single tool. They appeared when a new form of leverage changed the economics of production. The steam engine did not simply make factories louder, it changed where power could be concentrated. Mechanical energy moved mines, mills, ships, and railways. Wealth flowed toward those who controlled machinery, capital, logistics, and industrial organization. Electricity did not create value only for power companies. It allowed factories to be redesigned, it changed cities, homes, communications, appliances, elevators, lighting, and the rhythm of modern life. The breakthrough was not just the current, it was the reorganization of everything around distributed power. The assembly line did not invent the car, it changed the process. Repetition, standardization, and throughput turned complex goods into mass-market products. The personal computer moved calculation from institutions to individuals. A spreadsheet became a private financial model. A desktop became a publishing system. A small office gained capabilities once reserved for large organizations. Then the internet reduced the cost of distribution. A website could reach the world. Cloud computing reduced the need to own servers. Software could scale before the company behind it owned much physical infrastructure. But every shift had two sides. New leverage created new wealth. It also destroyed old advantages. The factory owner gained power. The artisan faced industrial competition. The newspaper gained reach, then lost advertising to digital platforms. The retailer gained e-commerce, then competed against marketplaces with global scale. Now, artificial intelligence enters the pattern. Not as mechanical leverage, not as electrical leverage, not as distribution leverage. AI is cognitive leverage. It lowers the cost of certain kinds of thinking work: drafting, summarizing, translating, coding, classifying, searching, comparing, generating, organizing, and analyzing. For a small business owner, this changes the shape of a normal day. The owner opens a laptop to a stack of unfinished work: customer emails, supplier questions, invoices, sales follow-ups, website copy, hiring notes, reviews, training documents, and a spreadsheet that no one has updated properly in weeks. Before AI, each task demanded time, attention, or headcount. With AI, some of that work becomes compressible. Emails can be summarized, proposals can be drafted, reviews can be clustered by complaint, meeting transcripts can become tasks, a messy spreadsheet can become a dashboard. A training manual can begin as a structured first draft. This does not make the owner rich, but it changes the bottleneck. The bottleneck used to be producing the document, the draft, the summary, the first analysis. Now the bottleneck moves. It moves to knowing what matters, verifying what is true, deciding what to do, earning customer trust, owning the relationship, delivering the result. That is the pattern beneath the surface. When technology makes one capability abundant, wealth moves toward whatever remains scarce. Most modern AI systems do not think like people. A large language model is trained on enormous collections of text and code. It breaks language into tokens, fragments of words, symbols, and code, and learns statistical relationships between them. Given a prompt, it generates a response by predicting likely continuations. This can look like reasoning. Sometimes it is useful, sometimes it is wrong with complete confidence. The architecture behind many of these systems is the transformer, introduced in the 2017 paper "Attention is All You Need." Its key mechanism, attention, helps a model weigh relationships between different parts of an input. A word at the end of a paragraph can connect back to a word at the beginning. Context becomes more navigable. Image and video systems often work differently. Diffusion models can begin with noise and gradually refine it into a coherent image based on a prompt or reference. Then there are AI agents, systems that attempt to move from one-shot answers to goal-directed workflows. Goal, plan, tool use, observation, revision, output. An agent might search documents, draft a reply, query a database, update a CRM, or create a report. But agents remain fragile, especially in complex or high-stakes environments. Human oversight is not optional. The economic impact comes from where these systems reduce friction. First, augmentation. AI can make one person more capable. A consultant can turn scattered client notes into structured recommendations. An engineer can prototype faster, generate tests, explain unfamiliar code, and debug more quickly. An educator can create practice problems, lesson variations, and feedback at scale. Second, automation. AI can reduce repetitive cognitive work. Customer support triage, invoice extraction, recruiting summaries, document review, CRM updates, internal search, compliance drafts, and data cleanup. When automation reduces cost, increases capacity, or lets a business serve more customers without proportional headcount, it can create wealth. But it can also reduce bargaining power for roles built mostly around routine tasks. Third, arbitrage. AI can help reveal mismatches before others notice them. An entrepreneur can analyze thousands of product reviews and discover that customers keep complaining about the same design flaw. A local service business can study search demand and find a niche no competitor explains clearly. A manufacturer can connect warranty claims, support tickets, and review sentiment to redesign a product around hidden pain points. The strongest arbitrage is not generate more content. It is discovering non-obvious demand. Fourth, ownership. This is the layer most AI wealth stories skip. Using AI is not a moat. Everyone can use the same tools. Durable advantage comes from owning or controlling something AI cannot instantly copy. Proprietary data, customer relationships, distribution, trust, regulated expertise, physical operations, workflow integration, community, specialized knowledge, or taste. This is the central mechanism. AI makes intelligence cheaper. Wealth comes from knowing what remains scarce. A business that only uses AI to produce more generic output may be pulled into a race to the bottom. A business that uses AI to strengthen a scarce asset may become harder to compete with. The first beneficiaries are not necessarily the people building frontier models. They may be the people who know where to apply them. Employees can benefit when AI helps move work upmarket. A writer who only produces generic drafts faces pressure, but a strategist who understands an audience, shapes a narrative, verifies facts, and builds trust may use AI to work faster without surrendering value. A developer who only generates boilerplate code faces competition from tools that generate boilerplate code, but an engineer who understands architecture, security, deployment, maintenance, and user needs becomes more valuable in a world where prototypes are cheaper. A research analyst can use AI to scan documents, cluster arguments, extract entities, and summarize filings, but the final value is not the summary. It is interpretation, verification, and decision support. Entrepreneurs can benefit because AI lowers the cost of experimentation. A physical product founder can use AI to analyze reviews across marketplaces. The system clusters complaints, weak durability, unclear instructions, poor fit, missing accessories, or a use case no product serves well. Then AI helps draft supplier questions, compare competitor positioning, generate packaging copy, write instruction manuals, and forecast support issues. But the hard parts remain physical: manufacturing, quality control, logistics, returns, cash flow, customer trust. AI compresses the research and communication cycle. It does not abolish reality. Small businesses may be the most underestimated category. A clinic, law firm, repair company, restaurant group, accounting practice, real estate team, or construction firm may not look futuristic. But AI can improve scheduling, documentation, quoting, training, customer communication, marketing tests, inventory decisions, and internal knowledge search. Return to the small business owner. The owner is not trying to build the next foundation model. The goal is simpler: fewer missed follow-ups, faster proposals, cleaner documentation, better customer insights, and less time wasted moving information between systems. A meeting becomes a task list. A folder of invoices becomes a reconciliation draft. A month of reviews becomes a ranked map of customer complaints. A messy onboarding process becomes a training guide. This is not glamorous. It is operational leverage. Creators can benefit when AI removes production bottlenecks, editing transcripts, testing titles, structuring episodes, creating thumbnails, translating captions, and repurposing material. But content volume alone is fragile. If everyone can generate endless content, attention becomes the scarce resource. Trust becomes the asset. Consultants and educators can benefit by turning knowledge into repeatable systems, diagnostic frameworks, training programs, audits, playbooks, and AI-assisted reports. Investors can benefit not by asking AI for a guaranteed stock pick, but by using AI to understand industries, summarize filings, compare strategies, and test assumptions. The decision still requires judgment, risk management, and accountability. The pattern repeats. AI creates leverage where a person or organization already has direction. Without direction, it creates noise faster. In Lewis Carroll's Through the Looking Glass, the Red Queen says it takes all the running one can do to stay in the same place. That idea now describes part of the AI economy. If every designer can produce 10 times more concepts, the market may not pay every designer 10 times more. It may expect faster delivery. If every writer can create a first draft instantly, basic drafting becomes less scarce. If every coder can generate simple scripts, the value moves towards systems thinking, security, product judgment, and deployment. If every business can generate ads, the world fills with more ads, and attention becomes more expensive. Productivity is not the same as wealth. Productivity means more output per unit of input. Wealth depends on demand, scarcity, pricing power, ownership, and the ability to capture value. This is why AI can empower and commoditize at the same time. Tasks most exposed to commoditization include basic copywriting, generic social media content, simple image generation, low-complexity translation, routine data cleaning, template documents, generic research summaries, standard customer service replies, and content built only for search volume. Not every job disappears, but task bundles get repriced. A role made of routine cognitive work becomes vulnerable. A role that combines AI with accountability, expertise, relationships, and judgment becomes more defensible. Organizations can also get left behind. A company that ignores automation may carry unnecessary cost. A company that automates recklessly may create errors, privacy leaks, employee resistance, or broken customer experiences. A founder who confuses a prompt with a business may discover that an AI-generated product is easy to copy. This is the renter problem. Many AI businesses rent intelligence from model providers, rent infrastructure from cloud platforms, rent distribution from app stores or social networks, and rent customer access through paid ads. If the model provider changes pricing, the economics change. If the platform changes ranking, distribution changes. If a larger company bundles the same feature, the startup loses oxygen. Large incumbents have gravity, compute access, capital, foundation models, proprietary data, enterprise relationships, cloud infrastructure, productivity suites, app ecosystems, and trusted procurement channels. Small players can still win, but not by owning nothing. They can win in narrow vertical workflows, local markets, specialized services, communities, physical world operations, proprietary datasets, and trust-heavy relationships. The solo founder can move faster. The incumbent can move with gravity. The winner owns something scarce. The practical path begins with a different question. Not, how do I get rich with AI? But, which parts of my work are becoming abundant and which parts remain scarce? Start by learning AI as delegation. A good prompt is not magic wording. It is clear assignment design, context, objective, constraints, examples, format, and evaluation criteria. Instead of asking, write a business plan, the better practitioner says, use this customer segment, this price range, these constraints, these competitors, and produce 3 options with risks, assumptions, and next steps. Then verify. AI systems can hallucinate. They can invent facts, citations, code functions, legal arguments, medical claims, and statistics. They often sound most confident when a human should be most careful. Use AI for first drafts, not final truth. Build the habit of checking sources, testing code, validating numbers, reviewing contracts with qualified professionals, and keeping human authorization in high-stakes decisions. Second, Use AI daily on real workflows. Summarize long documents. Compare vendor proposals. Turn meetings into tasks. Draft customer replies. Analyze reviews. Create learning plans. Generate spreadsheet formulas. Clean messy notes. Translate technical ideas into plain language. The point is not to become dependent. The point is to discover where time actually leaks. Third, map workflows. Every business is a chain of repeated steps: lead intake, qualification, proposal, delivery, support, billing, reporting, follow-up. Draw the workflow. Identify repetitive decisions, repeated documents, common questions, data handoffs, bottlenecks, and exceptions. Then ask where AI can reduce friction without removing accountability. Fourth, build small systems. A useful AI system does not need to be a billion-dollar model. It might be a niche knowledge base for a team, a customer support triage workflow, a product research pipeline, a client report generator, a training assistant for new employees, a document extraction tool, a local business automation service, a data product built from messy information competitors do not have. Fifth, develop judgment. As generation becomes cheap, judgment becomes expensive. Judgment means knowing what to ask, what to ignore, what to verify, what a customer actually needs, when a model is bluffing, and when a technically impressive output fails the real-world test. This is the skill that sits above the tool. Sixth, protect sensitive information. Do not paste confidential contracts, customer records, private health data, source code, financial documents, or employee information into tools without understanding data retention, privacy terms, permissions, and compliance requirements. AI should not become an accidental data leak. Seventh, avoid scams. The cheaper it becomes to generate persuasion, the easier it becomes to manufacture fake expertise. AI can produce synthetic reviews, cloned voices, phishing emails, deepfake videos, fraudulent documents, and fake investment pitches. Trust becomes more valuable because fakery becomes cheaper. Finally, look for real problems. The durable opportunities are not always shiny. They may live in boring workflows: medical billing, construction estimating, inventory management, insurance documentation, restaurant operations, local marketing, procurement analysis, equipment maintenance, HR compliance, education support, and customer onboarding. AI wealth is less likely to come from asking a chatbot for a secret. It is more likely to come from combining AI with a real bottleneck, a specific customer, a scarce asset, and disciplined execution. Before adopting or building any AI tool, ask 10 questions. Does it save time on a real workflow? Does it improve quality or only increase volume? Can errors be detected before damage occurs? Is sensitive data protected? Does it create dependence on one platform? Does it strengthen a scarce asset? Can competitors copy it easily? Who owns the data and output? What happens if pricing changes? What human judgment remains essential? These questions do not guarantee success. They separate leverage from illusion. At the end of the day, the small business owner closes the laptop. The AI has drafted, summarized, classified, suggested, and automated. But it has not chosen the company's reputation. It has not earned the customer's trust. It has not accepted responsibility for an error. It has not decided what kind of work is worth doing. That remains human territory. AI changes the economics of work by making certain capabilities abundant. It can make a worker faster, a team more capable, a business more efficient, and an idea cheaper to test. But abundance changes prices. If everyone can produce more, production is no longer the advantage. The advantage moves to what cannot be copied easily: judgment, trust, data, distribution, domain expertise, taste, workflow ownership, and real-world execution. So the thought experiment is simple. Imagine two people with access to the same powerful AI. One asks it to generate more output. The other uses it to understand a customer better, build a workflow, verify decisions, protect trust, and create an asset competitors cannot easily copy. Both have the machine. Only one is building leverage. AI may not make everyone rich, but it can reveal where value is moving. And in every major technological shift, that has been the beginning of wealth. Not the tool itself, but the ability to see what the tool makes abundant and what the world will still be willing to pay for. If you enjoy deep dives into the technologies shaping our future, consider subscribing to HiTechnomy. This is HiTechnomy. Look beneath the surface of the future. Join us next time as we explore another technology, system, or breakthrough shaping our world. Powered by Alligence Labs.